It's early in the fall quarter at SCAD, and Professor McCabe is assigning his class a project to find new material samples for the SCAD Sensorium. Thomas, a junior industrial design student, is looking forward to discovering sustainable materials and contributing samples to the sensorium. A few classrooms removed from Thomas, two senior marine designers are developing a design language for their sustainable luxury yacht concept. Bob and Diana are ready to visit the sensorium and explore materials. Meanwhile, at the sensorium, Thomas actively engages with material swatches by exploring their tactile, visual, and physical properties. Drawn to a sample of Kiri board, Thomas scans the QR code located on the swatch container and visits the supplier's website. Arriving at the website, Thomas stumbles upon their recently featured chocolate bamboo. He requests a sample for his emerging materials class. As Thomas is finishing in the sensorium, Bob and Diana are just beginning. To gain access to the sensorium, students must swipe their IDs. This provides a level of accountability and security for swatch samples. Bob heads to the physical swatch samples, and Diana opens a corner menu interface on the table. She filters the background materials to show only composites. Seeing that her filter hasn't narrowed down her choices very much, she adds an attribute magnet from her design language. Picking the emotional attribute dynamic creates a field. Items closer to that attribute have a stronger correlation. She creates a mood board using the corner menu and logs in with her student ID to link the mood board to her account. She drags the swatches arrayed around the attribute magnet to add them to her mood board. With a sliding gesture, she shares the mood board with Bob, who has just dropped a physical swatch on the table. The table reads the swatch via side-mounted barcodes, and the table displays a digital artifact of the swatch below. Bob rotates the mood board and uses the swatch magnet to find swatches similar to the physical one he found in the library. Adding swatches to his mood board, Bob checks the sustainability spider diagrams for his material choices, and he finds that there's room for improvement. He decides to export the mood board, but first he must log in to save his account. A few days later, Thomas checks his mailbox and finds an envelope from Kiri, containing his requested sample along with the spec sheet on material properties and applications. Thomas brings the envelope with him to his materials class. Professor McCabe shows Thomas how to add materials to the Sensorium database using the administrative back-end. After logging in, Professor McCabe enters the new material along with relevant cost and sourcing information from the suppliers as well as physical properties of the material. That same day, Bob returns to the Sensorium to finish his mood board for his sustainable luxury yacht. Using the corner menu, Bob attempts to open his material library from his last session, but first he must log in. Entering his student ID number, Bob picks from a thumbnail list of available mood boards. Opening his previous mood board attracts recommended materials related to those that are existing in the mood board. Seeing the recently added chocolate bamboo, Bob selects it and adds it to his mood board. He then checks his sustainability spider diagrams, and he finds that his overall rating has improved. The materials are now ready for the final presentation. As Thomas is heading to his materials class, he overhears a presentation. Poking his head in the door, Thomas sees Bob and Diana presenting the marine design project. Bob and Diana make explicit reference to the use of chocolate bamboo as a sustainable and elegant material that fits the overall design language without sacrificing sustainability. Bob and Diana are able to make informed material decisions thanks to the sensorium and, more directly, Thomas, who feels a sense of pride seeing his contribution used in current student work.